Yeah, that was one investment that wasn't as easy for the first step. But we got a really big recognition already because of the channel, the video, and then also, which I don't like to mention, I took part in a really trashy TV show at that time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's horrible. Please don't look for it. It's horrible.
Bringing it backwards.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good.
I appreciate
How
you
are
doing
you?
this. Thank you so much. I'm great.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry for my weird background and everything.
Oh no, that's
I'm not
awesome. Are you like at a venue or something?
Yes, I'm not kidnapped. I
Okay,
am
that's good.
yeah, we're on tour right now with NSOK and they're having a sound check, so I just looked for a corner that's not too loud and annoying for us. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Don't
appreciate
be
it.
confused.
No, 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 that's awesome. So you're like you're playing. When do you play? Like in a few hours?
Yeah, we play at I think either 7 or 8, one of both times. It
Okay.
might be 7 already, yeah. But we have time, no worries.
Okay. I'm good. I'm glad. Okay. Where are you abouts right now?
We're in Cologne right now, in Germany, Cologne.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what time is it? I'm just curious. I'm in excuse me, I'm in Nashville area and it's like 9 a.m. So I don't yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 4 p.m. here currently.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. And we still have
Awesome.
some time because we're the openers, and we have another interview at 5 or something. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a
Awesome.
crazy
Well,
day, but a good day.
yeah, 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 for sure. Well, I'm Adam and I appreciate you doing this, especially on such a wild day with the tour and everything else going on.
Yeah, we're
And
happy to be here, or I'm happy to be here. So of course, we totally wanted to get time for this. I hope
amazing.
the sound is okay and
No, it
everything,
sounds
and
really
the
good. That
connection.
mic
But
is good. Is that what kind of mic is
perfect.
that? Neumann?
That's a really old one for like 100 euros. And I wanted to sell this, but then our drummer was like, just take it on tour for interviews. I'm like, yeah, that's smart. Just a Samsung stage track. It's really USB mic. It's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, it looks like a legit Neumann mic.
Yeah, no, it's not. I wouldn't be holding Neumann
That's why I was
like this.
wondering. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's just like a cheap one.
No, all good, all good. Well, cool. This is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new record you have coming out in about
Yeah.
what's a little less than a month.
Yes, we're
Awesome.
freaking excited.
So cool. So first off, talk to me about where were you born and raised in Germany?
Yeah, all of us. So we're
Okay.
just three, but all of us born and raised in Berlin, actually, still live in Berlin. And yeah.
What was it like growing up there? Were you like in a suburb? Were you in the city?
I mean, Berlin is a pretty big city in general, and there
Hmm.
are so many people living there. It's funny because I only met my two band members really late, even though we were in the same scene and did music for years. I met them really late because there's so many people living there. And I grew up on the more like almost on the border of Berlin to the other city that's a little more like a little more country like.
Okay.
But still it took me like 10 minutes to go right into the center of the city where all the big buildings are. So I would say pretty much city life, all of
Uh,
us.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
What about music? Did was that something that was in your household? Are your parents musical or anything like that?
They, yeah, a lot of people in my family do music. None of them officially professional or anything, but it was always a passion in my family, at least. So my mother sang and had a guitar at home.
Oh,
She had a
awesome.
12 string, yeah, a 12 string guitar. And I was so confused as a child, like, what the hell is this kind of thing?
Sure.
And that's where I learned guitar on this 12 string. And she taught me when I was 12, just what she knew randomly. And from that day on, I kept going. I watched YouTube tutorials because we had a keyboard at home. And yeah, my siblings also like to sing, and it was a big passion already in my family. And I was like the first one to say, I want to try to make this a profession, like a
Okay.
real profession. Yeah,
So at 12, you learned the 12 string. The 12 string guitar sounds so cool, but
they
I
do.
like and really when you're playing it, I mean, I'm not a great guitar player by any means. I mean, I can play like
Yeah,
the chords
same.
and a power chord. But like I feel like when you're playing, I mean, it just sound, you can play regular chords and it just sounds so awesome. But if it
It
came down to
does.
the fact to like if I had to restring the thing or tune it, it'd be like game over.
I
I have
think we never
no.
even done that. Yeah, we were also so lost with this one,
Oh
but it was
man.
beautiful. You didn't have to do much, and it sounded amazing already because there's
Hmm.
so many strings and makes it sound so full. And I was just strumming on it without even doing chords. I'm like, yeah, that's so cool.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So 12, you said were you singing before that, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, kind of. It started at the same time. I was singing, but just like as a child and in school. But I think it was like 11, 12 when I actively started to sing in school. I had my first child band with my best friends.
Oh, cool.
Uh, yeah, we wrote our first songs that were really, really, really embarrassing. But I was already with 11, 12. And then in high school or like mid school, here it's called, like we have a middle school, then high school.
Uh-huh.
I joined the school band there, and then we did covers. And I also had my first real band with 14, and all of this came together. That's when I also started singing, like with 11, 12. Was like the first songs I also wrote and everything.
Wow,
I
that's so
tried.
young. I mean, if at 14 you're starting like a band, I
Mm.
mean, to start like the band that you're really, I mean, wait, so this band didn't start when you were 14, did they?
No, no, no. I had
Okay, just
another
another
one.
band. Got you.
Yeah, it was another band. It was my first real band. I was
Oh
in
yeah,
there
you
for
said
like
real
eight
band.
years. Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I did like many things, and I already wished back then, oh, this is my band. Like, this is where I'm gonna get, I don't know, people to know us with. But yeah, then I met the other guys later on. I think I was like 20 or 19, actually. I wasn't that old. I'm still not that old, but
I was gonna
I
say
always knew.
you're probably not very old.
But yeah, I always wanted this real bad. I
Okay.
always tried to do all I could, and I actually studied music for 2 years and then quit. But yeah, I already knew that I really wanted to do this, and then luckily, a miracle brought me these two guys, and then we made Future Palace work. Yeah, in like 2018.
Okay. Wow.
Mhm.
Real quick on the band that you started when you were 12, you were writing original songs. Is that what you said? And
Yeah,
also,
but it
like,
was
what was the
horrible.
sound? Like, what did you guys sound like? Was it this same style of music? Were you always into like kind of the metal heavy stuff?
Back then, when I was like 11, I was really into Avril Lavigne, like
Oh, okay.
obsessed with her.
Her new
And I
record's
actually had,
awesome. Have you heard it?
yeah, you mean I heard
The one with
Flames, and then
Bite Me, maybe?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I like the style she's getting back into right now. It's
Hmm.
cool to see that she's getting more comfortable again with like her more old school
Yeah, like the
style.
pop punk style. Sure.
Yeah, but it's fun because I was in sixth grade, and then yeah, I'm like 10 years younger than my band members, so for them they were probably like teenagers, and I was just a child, such a fangirl, and I was covering like her songs, a girlfriend, and I tried to somehow make something similar, or like Demi Lovato back then even.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had like really weird. That was me when I just got into rock. I also listened to Linkin Park back
Uh-huh.
then. That was all in about like 2007. That's when I was like 12 or something. I don't quite remember what year, but
Oh,
that
yeah.
must have
Oh my
been it.
gosh, I'm so old.
No, no, I'm just I'm just in the wrong time. I was just
No. It's just funny to hear that.
yeah,
Wow.
but yeah,
Yeah, like
it
it's when I
started
was
to
12. I'm
go.
like, oh man, I'm old. Well, okay. So was that the style of songs that you guys were writing when you were, that age and with that first band?
Yeah, I was like singer, songwriter, Avril Lavigne type of songs. I was just
Okay.
having my acoustic guitar and I didn't understand much. And then later on with this other band, when I was 14, we started doing more progressive music, progressive rock. Listen a lot to Flyleaf or
Hmm.
The Number 12 Looks Like You or My Chemical Romance, all of that stuff. Uh, yeah, and we just try to make something work for us. It was a little more progressive though and experimental. And I also started screaming then already with like 15, 16. I tried it for the first time. And we just did what we wanted to do. But it was
Hmm.
less poppy or like less structured than what we do now with this band.
Gotcha. Okay. So with that second band, the one where you started screaming and everything, like you said at that point, you knew that this is what you wanted to do.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
at what point, like was there something that happened or it just felt good? Like what was the point where you're like, this is gonna be it for me, and like I honestly think I could do this.
Um, I think I had this moment already when I was, it sounds so crazy, but I think I had it already when I was 12. I
Oh
was
wow,
like,
okay.
I don't know what it was, but something in me clicked like this could actually be a job.
Mm-hmm.
I could make this happen. But I wasn't sure how. And then with like 14, back then I was a big fan of bands like Panic at the Disco and Paramore and everything. And I was like, I don't know. It was just a feeling that this is what I'm here for. I don't know what it is. It sounds so
Yeah.
cheesy.
No,
but
but I totally get it. I was just,
yeah, there was almost nothing I enjoyed more and that gave me more like power and inspiration in doing music. I like also because I grew up in a pretty problematic family, and this was escape for me from all of this, and it helped me to turn all of these bad emotions into something nice that I could, I don't know, build something with. And at that point I was like, I just really 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 want to live from this and get on. And I actually was like, I need to quit school, and I don't know, I was like really crazy about it, but I finished school and everything. And then I started studying media design first because I was like, let's keep it safe, and I also like arts and drawing a lot. I was like, yeah, maybe just do this and be safe. And then I heard people singing because of this school. I was like in an art school
Oh, that's
when
cool.
I studied. Yeah, for a few years. And I heard people having singing lessons because they also studied music there. There were music classes. And I was drawing at that time. We did like naked, we had to draw a naked person, I remember.
Oh,
And I
really?
was,
How old were you when you're
yes.
trying naked people?
I think I was 19 or
Oh, okay.
20. Yeah.
So
I
was it just
already
like some naked dude showing up and you're like, you're 15?
Yes.
Okay, that's
No,
good.
no. Luckily not. No.
I was like, whoa, what kind of art
No.
school is this?
They asked for our permission also. It was like art. Yeah, like
Right.
it wasn't weird, but it was funny. And then I was sitting there like, I wish I would be singing right now. And like I had this feeling like I really need to be there right now. I just couldn't deny it. I couldn't ignore it. It was just so loud inside of me. Like, you belong in the other room right now. And that's when I switched the classes a few months later, and then learned a bit of music theory, which I'm not good at all, but at least I got some knowledge there and some singing lessons for the first time in my life for like 1 year. And from that on, I felt like I was actually prepared to try this better with new people and try to go full on. Yeah.
So before
a lot
this
of background.
No. That's the point of this. I love this. So you finished high school and you were still in this band that you were in prior to Future Palace. And then you go to art school, or the high school you went to was an art high school?
No, it was, it's a little weird in Germany. So we have like, or when we're a child, you go to school until you're like 12, and then you finish like what is it called again? Like
like elementary school type thing?
Elementary school, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we already go to high school. So from when you're 13, grade 7 until grade 10. This is like the normal education everyone does.
Gotcha.
And then you can decide to do 3 years extra. I think now they're 2 years, which is called A levels, I guess, in England. So like something you need to do to study afterwards, to go to college. You have to do these 2 extra years.
And then you go to school after that. You go to college or apply for college after that.
That's when you can get to college. And I did these 2 years extra, and then I was able to go study. Yeah.
Okay. So in the 2 extra years, is that when you started studying, or you started studying art?
No, I had to do, I went to normal school for 13 years.
Got it.
Just normal school. And after that, I started studying on the art school.
Okay. Cool. Nice.
Exactly. So it was a college, you would call.
Yeah. So with that band that you were in prior to this one, were you guys touring? Like, did you put a record out? Like, I mean, was there like a moment or like a milestone or validation that you were like, okay, you were in the band for a long time, obviously. So it was like, was this something that you thought was going to happen? And like, did that just dissipate and then this new band started? Or was it just kind of like everyone went their separate ways? Like what kept you moving forward? And then how did this new band form?
Oh, that's interesting. I actually never told anyone, I think, in this way, but so we really wanted to make it work with the old band. I was, especially me and the guitarist, we really, really took it seriously, and he was the head of the band, like both of us, but more him. But when you don't have like a really structured person or experienced person, it will end up going in circles and circles, and that's what I kept calling it. It kept going in circles, and we
Mm-hmm.
tried to make new plans. Actually, a lot of us studied music in this band, or the head of the band, the guitarist, started studying sound design, and that's actually how I met the new band, through a
Oh,
mutual
okay.
friend, because he studied with another friend together, and through this friend, I met my two new band members. Um, yeah, but then we were actually there in the studio where he studied, and we recorded our first. We wanted to do our first EP with this old band. Actually, recorded all of the songs. I think released 2 or 3 of them,
Mm-hmm.
but the EP never
Like,
published.
got it.
Yeah, but it was still like a school task for him. We recorded everything, and this one friend that I met my band through, he recorded us, and he was like, "Your band is so cool," and I was like, "Yeah, thanks. Your band is also cool." And yeah, that's. We never toured. We had a few gigs, but never did a full tour, sadly. But we had a few songs, and it was all prepared, and then my patience kind of left, because I noticed I don't think this is going to be it with them. I don't think
Uh-huh.
this is how you're going to work. Everyone is a little too creative. None of us is really well structured. We need someone who has like a plan and experience with this. And it just didn't continue. And like some people jumped off, some came back in the band, but the main part of the band, me and the guitar player, we stayed until the end. And it was actually really, really sad when I left the band, because
Yeah.
I met Future Palace, so Manuel and Johannes. We both met when we were already in a band. So both of us had a band, and we call it like an affair sometimes. It's
Yeah,
just for fun.
that's just gonna
Yeah,
say.
we
It
always
was
say
like
because it
we had
was
this secret band and you're
yes,
hiding
yes.
it. And
That's also part of the band name, because there was a WhatsApp group. That's what it was called, Future Palace, without
oh,
even having a plan what this is going to be. But yeah, it was hard because I was like also best friends with this person, with
right.
Enzo, who was like, yeah, and I actually wrote a song about this, Parted Ways, which is also a single of us. Is actually about this for me, about leaving this band and going parted ways, and knowing when something is over and just won't evolve anymore, even though you spent so many years with them, and I really hope to make it with them. But now that I've been with Future Palace, it is an entire different world. Everything that didn't work immediately worked with them, because they're just different type of people, different kind of people. And I noticed, okay, that was what was missing for us to make it work. And yeah, that
Yeah,
was the
you just
entire
knew,
switch.
like you knew that the vibe was so much better doing this project that's, obviously working now, right? So
Hmm.
with this with Future Palace, so you're the affair, so to speak. Eventually you both go, let's start this band, and then is that how the formation of Future Palace started, or were they kind of a band and then you jumped in?
They knew each other before already and had a few projects. The last one was the one with the mutual friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a feature together, actually. I was there to do a feature for their band. And we just noticed that we work really well together. And then we wanted to start a new project, completely new, or with the 3 of us only. And we just did a few songs for fun to see how it works, and it worked really, really well. I think one of the first ones we did was Maybe, which was also our
Okay.
first single. And we were like,
Yeah.
oh, this works really well without even talking much. That's cool, because it seems like we have the same vision somehow. Yeah, and it happened really quickly from that point on. So first we just tried it out, and then they sat down and said, yeah, we wanted to do a new project anyways. We were originally looking for a male singer and wanted to go heavier, but then you fit really well, and yeah, we started from scratch again. But both of them knew each other already years before. They have so many stories they tell me all the time from their old bands and their old tours, and
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So they were like they were actively touring and everything. So this became all new to you once you joined this band, like touring and everything.
Exactly. It's always funny because they're like, wow, you're so young and we've been here so many times, and now you were so lucky to skip so many steps that we had to do, like sleep on couches in random strangers' places, and yeah, all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm
Right.
happy that I joined at this point.
Right. But in
Yeah.
reality, you didn't really skip many steps. I mean, you've been working on this since you're 12 years old, right? You just haven't done
Sure.
the touring aspect of it. But
That's
okay,
true.
so the band started in 2018. So it's weird because you've been a band for, 4 years at least, and but 2 of these years have been kind of lost due to the pandemic and everything. So when
Mhm.
you start this band, you put out Maybe, and then because that does, I mean, there's a lot of plays on that song on Spotify. Like, was there like what was the first like validation that the band was working? Was it putting that song out and seeing the response? Was it getting a label? I mean, what was kind of like once the band formed, you put the song out, like what was the next like moment?
Actually, we were really lucky with already the first step we did. Um, the first single, I had a YouTube channel. I still have it from back then because I always did YouTube when I was 14, and I was able to build a community there, a few following, and
Hmm.
I didn't do much on there anymore, but decided maybe we could do release the video on my channel because I have like 30K whatever followers or something,
Oh, wow.
and
Just no big deal. Like
yeah, I had
30,000
quite a few back then.
subscribers. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
uh, I mean, thank you. I just quit it. I just didn't continue. That's why it's like frozen. But it is a lot. I don't know how that happened. Back then, I just did hair dyeing videos, but it led to something nicer at the end of the day.
Sure.
Because luckily, it's so cool because YouTube is a great support for the creators, and
Uh-huh.
actually, there's a YouTube space in the entire world. I'm not sure if it's still there, but it's a so-called YouTube space, and they offer studios and everything for free when you have over 10K subscribers.
Yeah, I
And
don't know if
there,
I'm pretty sure they still do it. They had one in LA.
yeah, they have it like in every capital, I think. It's
Hmm.
so cool. And luckily, we're from Berlin, so we had one. I
Right.
visited this one already when I was younger, just because I was like invited. I was like, yeah, sure, cool.
Because you had
And
30,000 followers, no big deal.
yeah. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't seem like people. I don't know. It's weird. I keep forgetting it also. It's kind of funny. But yeah, we were able to record our first music video for free there with great
Wow.
equipment just because I did some hair dyeing videos and funnily as well. So we already had a reach. We had a nice studio. We were so lucky with all of this. We paid a lot for, not a lot, but we paid for the studio completely ourselves. We went working for this 40 hours a week in a bookshop, funnily. And yeah, that was one investment that wasn't as easy for the first step. But we got a really big recognition already because of the channel, the video, and then also, which I don't like to mention, I took part in a really trashy TV show at that time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's horrible. Please don't look for it. It's horrible.
Oh, I want to. Now I'm
But
curious. We can't talk about it?
yeah, we can. I mean, it's hilarious. I was completely fooled by this entire production. I didn't know what was happening. I think I
Okay.
was like 21 or something. I don't
So you
know.
got what
But
asked? Okay, real quick. This is fascinating. So how do you get involved in the television show? Like, did somebody come up to you and be like, "Oh, hey, we're doing a reality show"? And what's the premise of the show? I mean, you don't have to say the name of it if you don't want, but I'm just
yeah.
curious, like, what the premise was.
It was
Like an
underwhelming to say so. It was actually funny because I quit studying music because this it also cost money and I didn't have much money and stuff. I
Sure.
lived alone and I was like, no wait, I think I don't need a degree at this point. I think I need free time and work and passion to get to my goal. That's
In
why I
reality, right?
quit.
Yeah, that's really all you need. I mean, no
Yeah,
one's gonna be like, a rising empire isn't gonna be
yeah.
like, so, do you have a college education? Or I'm not gonna sign your band.
Absolutely. And I was like, okay, I took like 1.5 or like 2 years from the school. I think I know a lot more than many others might know. I feel prepared. Now I just want to go full on and go
Mhm.
work. And I just worked in like retail, in a cafe, everything just for the band.
Sure.
And but then I made a little mistake right when I quit. I didn't calculate right. And it's as stupid as it sounds. I didn't have money, and I was looking up quick jobs I could find, really quick jobs. And
Yeah.
then I randomly found because I had a part-time job while I was studying at a TV production.
Okay.
I was just holding cables there. I was like a studio assistant.
Yeah, like a grip or something.
Yeah, yeah, like not important at all. And I was like, yeah, maybe I could find something there because they offer so many jobs quickly without big deals. And then I found this production, and they were looking for tolerant, open-minded people that are interesting and open for a project, like a social project. And I was like, well, I don't
Like,
know.
I check all these boxes. Let's do this.
Yeah. So I'm like, that might be fun, and you get money for it. So I just applied randomly without thinking much. And yeah, later on they ask a little more weird questions, like how do you like parties? What would be your ideal boyfriend? I'm like, what the freaking hell are they asking me?
Yeah, you can swear if you want. I'm just
okay.
You don't have to censor yourself. Just letting you know.
Okay. And yeah, I had a bad feeling already, and then I asked the band members, should I join this? And they're like, yeah, sure. TV could always be good promo at the end of the day, maybe, hopefully. And yeah, so I went there. I didn't know what it was. I went to a different country. They didn't even let me know. I just flew to Austria, which isn't that far from Germany. I was like, what experiment is this going to be? Like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm open. And then I ended up being in a nunnery, I think it's called in English, where all nuns live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I was there for an entire week with other girls, and the plot was not living there and being like open-minded. The plot was they had roles for each girl, just like every reality TV show, and tried to make us look really bad. So the contrast is really big. Like we're this rebel girls, crazy girls or party girls that go into the nunnery, and then they should act like they're super shocked and it's horrible for them. And I was the non-orientated punk Maria.
Oh, of course, right.
That's the role they gave me. Yeah, they cut every sentence I said, and I was like I didn't have a plan in life, and yeah, that's the role I had. And I didn't know until it was crazy, yeah. And I didn't know until I saw some scene. I was like, oh my God, where am I? Yeah.
Yeah, the beauty of reality television, right? They're just gonna ask you leading questions and then clip what they know, what they're hoping you're gonna say, because they've already like written out they're gonna fish. So you say something that they know that they're like, okay, perfect, we got the clip that we need for her there, and blah blah blah.
They're crazy. They ask in a way, so they tell you something, and there's a person who's taught to do this. They know, she knows what she wants from you, and she will ask in this way. And she's like, you have to take the question while you repeat. You have to take the question in. So like, how did you like how this girl acted? Tell me. I think this girl acted da da da, and I think that's da da da.
Right.
And that's what they want. So therefore, it looks like you randomly started talking about this, even though you
of course. Yeah. Or they'll be. Do they do this where they're like, so Maria, like, did you hear like so and so saying all this bad stuff about you? Like, can you believe that they said that? And then you're like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, I can't believe so and so said that. Like, why? You know? Then you're like, that person, blah 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 blah, and they're like, snip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maria says this person does this.
I early noticed that they're not nice people. I noticed, and I try to be as boring as possible. I try to don't give them anything, and then they actually took things I did off camera, so they still record it. And one example would be the interviewer asked me something about time, and I was making a joke off camera. I'm like, time is an illusion, huh? Just as a sarcastic joke, and they took that. And made it look like I'm always late and unstructured, and then I said, "Time is an illusion."
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It is.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. So that happened, and then that helped fund a little bit of the band, I would hope.
Yeah.
And did that draw attention to like, or people like, oh my gosh, who's this girl? We're gonna look her up, and then they found out that you're in a band. Is that like? And was this show only in Austria? Like, where did this air?
It was, I think, in every German country. And I'm not sure if it was even in Austria. It might have been in Germany, but they sent it at prime time and a really big channel. And I think they even screened it twice or streamed it twice. So,
oh my gosh, I'm sorry to bring back trauma, but like, that's so fascinating.
Yeah, it's like trauma. But it is a story to tell. And I made the best out of it. So I asked them if I could. They were dropping a music video, which had the perfect timing, luckily. And then we did an after interview. They did an interview with me afterwards. And then I screened maybe a part of maybe on TV on primetime. I'm like, yes. And then I was able to say like, yeah, after the nunnery, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I recorded
I started
music.
This band. Yeah. Like, oh, that's awesome.
I mean, I already had this band. They just made it almost look like,
That
but
you
then,
just said.
Yeah. But then I was able to, or we were able to get a lot of people. But I'm not sure if they are still there, but a lot of the comments were like, "Oh, this is Maria from the TV show. Oh, I found her from this TV show." And then finally, our label found us through this video, and they're like, "What is this? What is this show?" Like, they're like, "What is this? What?" But they just liked the video. But then, yeah, I don't
Oh,
know
so
if
they
that might have
contacted you via that video that they found because of the
exactly.
television show? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And that's when they contacted us. So Robin said in an interview, so who's one person working in A Rising Empire, he said they saw my channel, they saw the video, it had really great performance already because we did everything we could.
Right.
I did everything I could, to be honest. I embarrassed myself in front of Germany, my home country. Yeah, and it performed so well that they were immediately like reaching out to us, and from that point on we were already like really quickly signed and made the deal with the album already, and we were like, okay, we didn't know we make an album, but now we're gonna make an album. And yeah, that's
And
how
is that when you
it
put out
started.
Escape?
Yeah, and that's how we started doing Escape. So we already had some songs written, and then we were like, okay, so this is gonna be an album, let's try to make some other songs that fit. And yeah, it happened really
Okay. So
quickly
then you
from
put
then on.
that, but you put that record out in 2020. So how was that? I mean, did you put the record out? What month? Do you remember?
September 2020, I
Oh,
remember.
so the
And
pandemic was already happening. And this,
yeah, when it was released, yeah. But while we were recording in 2019, I mean, we started doing in 2018. We went to the studio already
right, right.
without knowing what happens without the label. And then when we knew we are gonna make an album, we went there always like 2 days in a row. Once again, 2 days, 2 days. That's how we did Escape because we didn't have much free time. We were all working much.
Mhm.
And yeah, like within the year we finished Escape, and then it takes a while, a few months until it can be released.
Right, right,
Oh
right.
yeah, the pandemic started happening. We did our first ever tour with Flash Forward in March 2020, and that was the last possibilities to play, and that was our first ever like shows we played. And then after that, like right after the last date, everything shut down, and we're
Oh,
like,
so you were able to get
whoa.
through the tour? You were able to get through the tour.
It was just a support tour before we
Okay.
even released much. We didn't
Okay.
release that much yet, but we did one tour at least, one support tour before, and then everything shut down. Yeah.
Okay. And then you put the record out and everything shut down. And then
Yeah.
how do you then are you able to support the record last year at all? And then obviously you have excuse me, a new album coming out next month. So where does
Mhm.
that land? Like, was this new album something you've been working on like over the like right after that record was done, right after Escape? And it's like, okay, well now not only do we have a bunch of time because of no one's going outside, but we have a bunch of time to write this record, and hopefully we'll get a chance to support Escape a little bit more than we had before.
Yeah, I mean, there was escape tour planned, and we had to postpone it, I think, 2 times, 3 times until it was canceled.
Hmm.
We tried to make it work. We thought it's gonna work, but we had to totally cancel this. And then after canceling this, we really quickly decided to start this new album
Hmm.
because what else should we do in this time? And we just almost immediately, I think in January or December or something, we already started working on Run with the first demos. And yeah, we just used this entire year to start this new thing. We didn't even promote Escape that much. We did a live stream,
Hmm.
and no, but we just didn't do much anymore. We just wanted to go forward. We wanted to make new songs, get it out, and yeah, we were just in the writing process. We didn't even think about Escape that much anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was kind of sad, but we were
Yeah.
sad that we were never able to play so many songs live. Maybe we might, yeah, we haven't played some songs live ever to this point from Escape, because the headline tour we just had, yeah, we played a lot of new songs because also we're really hyped to play them. People know them,
Right.
more people know them than most songs of Escape, and yeah,
That's
we were
cool. That
still
is,
enjoy it.
yeah. And that's great that people really like the new songs and like are resonating with them instead of like, well, go, I want you to play the songs off the other record. And you're like, well, I got this new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's, well, tell me the premise of the record. Like, was it hard to write the album? I mean, were you coming from a place of like, look at all this destruction happening in the world and the pandemic? Like, I did see that's about like a toxic relationship. Like, how much of that, was that? Well, I guess just tell me about the record.
hmm Yeah, so the writing process was almost entire like 2021 when most lockdowns happened, and it was
Mhm.
really like you didn't know what was going to happen the next day or the next month. We didn't know when we will play shows again. So like all my hopes, because I put my life in a way that it works for the band in the best way possible. So I quit this study thing. I worked back then. Now, luckily, I don't anymore. But I worked in like a retail store selling clothes, or in a cafe. I changed so many jobs, and I was not well. I wasn't happy there. Of course, I would just earn some money. I think many people could probably relate who have a dream. Um,
Right.
that you just want to get money quickly, and yeah, I was just so unhappy in these jobs that my depression got worse and worse, and or maybe even evolved in this, because I had so many things happening, like toxic relationships in the past. And then I was like, yeah, let's make my life amazing now and start working. Whatever happened. But then it just hit at some point. It got too much, and then with the pandemic on top of that, with this unhappy job, and nothing was ever like a good thing that happened, because I couldn't even go out to see friends. I couldn't even party to like distract myself. That I couldn't even do what I was, I think, living for. I couldn't do much music anymore.
Mhm.
So that was what the album was there again. It was holding me. It was getting me through this time and helped me to distract my mind, to get my thoughts out. And it's honest. It's pure, honest thoughts I had in these moments. I had like really deep, like almost the worst depression I've ever had at the start of 2021. And I went to therapy, found a therapist, because I noticed like this is getting out of control. Music can not only be my my hope or my anchor. I need like some professional help at this point, or I don't know what to do, because there was just so much with the pandemic on top. And yeah, I luckily found a therapist, and everything started going a little more up, or let's say a little more normal. But that's when Run was still written, through this entire process of so many things and flashbacks for me, and private things happening. But yeah, it's pretty much like a diary, like Run. I just wrote. It was so easy to write because I had so many thoughts at this time, and yeah, you can tell in a few songs, and I think it's even more bitter and honest than a lot of songs in Escape,
Mhm.
because yeah, I don't know, it's like the aftermath. It was the first time for me to reflect my entire life and notice, okay, I need to stop right now, take a break, and breathe and see what happened to me. And before that, I was always like the one who kept going, who was like, yeah, I'm strong, let's keep going.
Mhm.
But then that was the first time I ever like quit my job from one day to the other. I had a panic attack and stuff, and I was like, no, I need a break. And that's pretty much the background of Run. Yeah,
Wow. Wow,
even in the
wow.
studio, I was still like a little suffering, and but that's why
Right.
these songs are really real and honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with that, I mean, is there particular songs in the or a song or songs on the record that are hard for you to like, knowing what the deep meaning of the song is about? Is it hard to like, sing it, or like was it hard to write? Like,
Mm. Yeah, I mean, almost all of them. Already in Escape, I put out a few really private things that I was never even able to talk out
mhm,
loud. There's still a few songs I haven't written yet because they're too hard for me to talk about, and maybe in the future I might be able to.
mhm.
But yeah, it was kind of crazy at first when I write it. Yeah, when I wrote it down, and it was really opening to people. Everyone
Yeah,
was able to read what
right. I
was
mean, you're being
thinking.
so vulnerable. Is that something that was I mean, were you nervous about, presenting that to people or letting
A
people
little
in
bit.
on that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was more like, might this be too cringy how I wrote it, or is this like embarrassing? But I feel like most people and producers nowadays are pretty used to kind of lyrics like this in this genre. And I think some people might even write lyrics like this without meaning it, and then therefore they just go on with it and let's just record it. But so I didn't make it a big deal. I didn't talk much about it with anyone. But for me
Mhm.
personally, it was kind of weird. I was in my own bubble at this moment. I tried to deal with myself. But one of the first moments when it was pretty hard for me was rehearsing for this tour, because I was singing them out for the first time and I was crying all the time.
Yeah.
In each song, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to go on stage? Like, I was crying so many times because I don't know. I was, first of all, happy that these songs are there now. But also singing these lyrics, I was still so affected by each word because they're just the truth of this moment.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
I
what I was
mean,
wondering. Like, it sounds like it was like, I mean, directly affecting you and
yeah.
crying. Like, was that something that with repetitive, like just doing it a lot? Like, how did you like overcome that? Or are you still having like issues? Not issues, but like, is it hard to not be that emotional on stage when you're performing some of these songs?
It's gotten so much better. Think it was practice and repeating it because I was in the rehearsal room, but also I just try to improve myself, my mental health, and my life daily. So
Hmm.
I've been doing therapy for 1 year now, and I think this really helped me to be also more confident and
Hmm.
getting to know myself so much better and where pain comes from and how I get it out and where. And this really helped me, to be honest, to differentiate myself
Hmm.
with the songs when needed. But
Sure.
I can also open up if I want to. So when I see someone crying in the crowd, it might hit me. Or if
Right.
I do speeches on stage talking about what happened to me, and then sometimes the song right after might kick a little different. But it is something you get kind of used to, and it's like a routine. And
Right. Oh, I didn't realize
yeah.
that you go up, you talk openly about everything that happened with you on stage.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I try when time allows it or when the crowd is open for it. I try to at least say one story or one thing and try to make people, or I wanted to share that this is nothing you should be ashamed of. And that's what I always want to, yeah, convey to the people. And that's what I want to talk about with these songs because I don't want to only perform and have a good time. But I think the lyrics are also a big part, and I want people to notice because here in Germany, of course, it's not our native mother tongue or anything. So therefore, I try to speak it up a little more because we might just listen to the song and just vibe with it. But to me, it's important to also, at least that some songs, notice or understand what they are about. And really big topic to me is domestic violence, and that's one thing I always talk about on stage.
Okay.
So mental health and domestic violence, and yeah, tell people to be open about it. Don't be ashamed, and share if you need help or help your friends if they need help. Because that's something I went through, and when I got a stage, I might as well use it in a good way.
Sure. No, that's amazing that you are that vulnerable and like that you allow yourself to talk about those hard subjects, especially on stage to a crowd of people that you
Yeah.
don't obviously know, but they're there for you. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that you had to go through that. That's
Mm.
terrible. But
Yeah,
I'm glad you have an
but it,
outlet for it. I mean, and you're able to kind of, tell your story, and that's big for people to hear that. And you probably related so many people in the
yeah.
audience that you would never know are probably like, oh my gosh, like that's me. That story you just told, I have that or similar story.
Yeah, because it's a topic so hard to talk about, and many people are ashamed to talk about it. And I just really want to be, as cheesy as it sounds, the person that I needed back then, because
Yeah.
it would have meant so much to me to see someone on a stage even talking about this, because I was so embarrassed of myself back then. I was too scared to ask for help. And yeah, now that I learned from this, went through this, I just really want to make the best out of it and not just cancel it and push it away because no, it happened and it
Hmm.
happens daily everywhere, especially with COVID and people being locked away with their families. Sometimes your is your enemy, you don't know. And oh, my mic switched. But my God, did it switch?
Yeah,
No.
now it's back.
Okay, weird.
It switched there for a
Um,
second. I was like, whoa, it just got so loud in that room. That's awesome.
no, but yeah, that is one of my mission with this band. Not only music, not only living from it, but I have like my weird life mission that I want people to like feel like they're not alone with these things, and that
Hmm.
this world needs a little more sympathy, empathy, whatever, and not only seeing your own problems, but sharing with the world and trying to, yeah, feel closer to each other again,
Hmm.
especially yeah after being locked away.
I love that. I think that's so important, and what you're doing is so amazing. And I appreciate, you being
Thanks.
so open and you telling, being on here and talking about these things. It means a lot. So I appreciate you and thank you so much, Maria, for
Thanks.
doing this. I know you have a show tonight. It looks like you have so many tour dates coming up. I mean, you guys are going to be busy. It looks like, I mean, all the way through almost through September. You got a couple
Yeah.
of shows in July and August, but like, wow.
Finally, though,
Congratulations.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right, right,
thanks.
right. Well, I have one more quick question before I'll let you go and you have a great show tonight. But I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes there's no way that you can think of, but just keep going. That's what I did. I didn't know any way. I didn't know who I will meet. I just did everything that I could and kept going. Don't let yourself down. Don't let other people talk you down, because there's almost nobody, at least in my world, that would tell me this is a great idea, do that. Because no, most people will be like, no, look for something that's safe, be safe. No, do what you love and give it all, your all. And that's what I would say. Don't be scared. It is scary. It is not easy, but if you love it, it will be worth it, I think. Yeah.
Bringing it backwards.